At ALU, we talk often about the great opportunities that Africa faces, and which we hope the leaders that we are developing will play a significant role in capturing these opportunities. In line with that, conservation, specifically conservation of our wildlife, is one of the greatest opportunities that we see for economic development in Africa. And as such, we want to bring together a group of business leaders, investors, political leaders, people from many different backgrounds, to consider what it's going to take to really build a wildlife economy for the continent. We named it the Business of Conservation Conference because we want to emphasize that there is a wildlife industry. There's a whole economy that can be built around this unique asset that we have of some of the most interesting and unusual wildlife in the entire world. So there are 5 themes we'll be looking at this conference. The first is investment opportunities in wildlife economies. How can we attract capital into the wildlife economy? The second is the empowerment of communities. How can wildlife be a source of income for the communities that live around protected areas? The third area we're looking at is leadership and talent. How can we develop a new generation of African leaders who can drive Africa's wildlife economy? The fourth theme we're looking at is technology. How can we apply drones and blimps and machine learning and image recognition technology to improve anti-poaching and to combat illegal wildlife trade and so forth. And the final area we'll be looking at is policy. How do you set the appropriate economic policies that really stimulates a wildlife economy and provides incentives for African communities to invest in wildlife and to benefit from it? Some of the highlights from this conference will be something called Needs and Leads, where people attending the conference will have a chance to pitch projects that they're working on and to seek investment and networks and other ways that people in the conference can really support them to make those things happen. So another highlight for me is going to be the commitment desk, where participants are going to go and announce commitments that they're making. And at the end of the summit, we're going to aggregate all the commitments that have come out, and we'll aggregate the dollar amounts and the number of people that will be affected. And finally, we're going to have opportunities for people to really network with each other, to form close relationships across the continent that can initiate interesting collaborations that can drive the wildlife economy in Africa. We have over 300 confirmed guests from about 40 different countries, as well as about 50 speakers. So this is really shaping up to be one of the most innovative and exciting conferences looking at the business of conservation that has ever been put together.